So if you remember back before Christmas, I posted a bath bomb fail. It was quite an epic bath bomb fail, as you can see here. We're going to fix this now. Okay, well, when I did my Humidity Matters video about bath bombs, I had a lot of people message me and say, if you cover your bath bombs with cling film, you can make them in any humidity and it doesn't matter. So, this video I'm going to put that to the test. I'm using exactly the same bath bomb recipe as I did before, and the humidity is currently 80% in my lab because it's a very rainy, horrible day. So let's see how this goes. What you just saw me doing was add my water to a beaker. I do add water to my bath bomb formulas because it makes nice hard bath bombs. And now I'm doing the other wet ingredients, which is an oil, some polysorbate 80 and some fragrance oil. The oil makes the bath water feel really nice and makes your skin feel very nice after being in the bath. The polysorbate 80 makes sure that you don't get an oily ring around the tub and just disperses that within the bath water. And the fragrance obviously is to make it smell nice. So I'm just going to mix those together and put that to one side, and then that's all of our wet ingredients ready. Depending where you live, you may want to adjust the recipe to be drier or wetter, but the idea behind this experiment is to see how exactly the same recipe does in this humidity, so we'll leave it as is. I'm just going to get my citric acid ready. I do this separately from the other dry ingredients because I don't want it to activate too early. Then I've got my colour pigments. These are neon pigments. I'm using neon pink, neon purple, and then the green is a mixture of about 70% neon blue with about 30% neon yellow, and it gives you this kind of tealy green colour. Then I'm adding the rest of my dry ingredients to a separate bowl, and this includes sodium bicarbonate, cornstarch, and also some SLSA. These are to give the fizz and the bubbles and to make it nice and lightweight and feel nice and silky, but also to give it some sort of foam as well as fizz. Make sure you wear a respirator when dealing with SLSA because it's not nice to breathe in. And then you just want to mix this all together. You can do it with a whisk or in a KitchenAid or just with your hands like I'm doing, and just make sure that it's all evenly combined. And then we can add our wet ingredients. You see me add the oil-based ingredients first and mix those in, and then I add my water. But top tip, if you add the water on top of your oils, you're less likely to start activating the mix. Although, to be fair, I'm not using much water here, so it didn't really do anything. So mix that really well by hand until it's all incorporated, and squeeze it together until it kind of clumps and doesn't fall apart unless you crumble it. And then you can add your citric acid and mix that in the same way. And it shouldn't activate now because you've already incorporated all your wet ingredients into the other dry ingredients. And then what I'm going to do is separate it into 3 relatively even portions because we're going to colour each one a different colour. I'm going to use exactly the same mould as I did last time, which is just this sphere metal mould, and I've covered this little muffin tray in cling film, and then I'm going to have cling film over the top. This is biodegradable cling film. I get it off Amazon. You can use whatever you like depending on your preferences. And here we go, just mixing the colours in by hand, and then we'll be ready to mould. Here you can see me just spraying it down with isopropyl. This won't activate it, but it does wet it enough if your mix starts getting a little bit dry, because obviously we do want it to hold enough while we mould it at least, no matter what the experiment is. So I'm just doing that and it'll evaporate off once it's moulded anyway. And here you go, it's the first one. Feels pretty much the same as the last lot did. Quite soft at this point, but that'll be because of the humidity in the air whilst I'm working. And we'll just rest it on one of the muffin tray spaces on the cling film. And then we're going to cover the whole thing. And that should, according to everyone's comments and messages, stop the humidity from getting to it enough that they dry normally. With this little bit left over, I'm just going to press it into a half mould, and then I'm going to turn it out on the cling film, but I'm not going to cover it. And this will be our control so that we know how it performs if it isn't covered compared to how it performs if it is covered. And we'll check on these in about 24 hours, and I'm going to maybe do a little bit of filming in between to see how they're going. So the question is now, did that work? Does covering them with cling film actually stop the humidity in the air getting from them and mean that you can make bath bombs in any humidity? We will see in 24 hours. So I don't think we need to wait 24 hours. It's pretty obvious what these have done, and it's the same thing. Weirdly, the little half one I did isn't as bad as the two that I covered, so go figure. But I think this gives us our answer. We need humidity. Covering them really doesn't make any difference. But yeah, experiment worth trying, but there's your answer. But just for fun, I've filled the big bowl I had with a little bit of water, and we'll just dump this little half one in because why not? And obviously it's not going to perform very well because it's not fully cured or fully set yet, so it's got bits coming off it and looks really ugly, but you know, why not? It was another fail. I'm going to get a dehumidifier. If you have any recommendations for a good one, please drop them below. And the next time I share a bath bomb formula, you'll see it working because we'll be at the perfect 40 to 50% humidity. So thanks to those who did comment about the cling film, but no. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all my patrons. If you want to become a patron, I do have a good bath bomb recipe that does work in good humidity down below via that link, and I'll see you in the next one.